Yes. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, according to where you're taking the scene and when you're going to be taking the scene after we're done here. Welcome to International. Your host here, Valdez Brooks. I said last week we're going to somewhere warm, but studio's still cold. So we had to move quick today. We're moving quick today. We have a full show. We had an excellent meet up and talk with Dr. Lesleyann Noel that we'll be going into shortly. That we have to move on too quickly because the talk was full. We get a little carried away, so we went over time a bit, right? And we have another guest coming in shortly after. Another good friend, Mr. Warren Gill, to talk about his most recent achievement in the one in the long list of many, right? So if we're ready, I think we will jump into that interview one time. The first question off air to me was if I'm ready to start. Take this in. No, but we go start. All right.
We good.
Yeah. We good, man. I talking to my friend. So welcome. welcome everyone. Welcome to International. There's your boy Valdez Brooks. I have on the line with me a very good friend. So good. I was preparing for this thing and I forget where we met exactly, but I'm sure right. So I'm sure we will piece that together while we talk about your life and times and your journey so far in education and art and design and everything. So who are I talking to? I'm talking to, oh gosh, it's my friend, so I can't just say Lesleyann. Dr. Lesleyann Noel, the Dean of Design at O.U.R University, Toronto, Canada. Welcome to International, my dear.
Thank you, Valdez. You can say, "Hey, it's Les you're talking to."
We'll put on that. We'll put on the where you call it university thing.
I don't know, the robes.
Yeah, we'll put on the robes as we go along. But official introduction. This is Dr. Lesleyann Noel. So, where to start, boy? Let me start. I usually like to start getting background, upbringing, education, all of that. But I think I'll flip the script. I want to follow your journey and your path as an educator, right? So because that's as far as I could remember, that's all I've known you as.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So I should talk about more.
No, we'll just use the where you were teaching and where you were lecturing as touch points, right? For how the journey progressed. So you were teaching primary school.
No. So that's why I want to start over.
Right, good.
All right. I don't follow instructions.
Nice.
I am going to start with me going to Brazil because that's very significant.
Oh gosh,
that
that's the best
nothing
part.
to do with me. Exactly. That has nothing to do with I say it has nothing to do, but actually it has everything to do with me.
Yeah, it's a critical right? It's a critical part of the thing.
Moment, right? So I will use up the whole podcast talking about this journey, right? I'm from Digo. And let me see. I kind of at random picked myself up and went to Brazil to do undergrad studies, right? My parents wanted me to go to UE like a good Digo girl. My father was reminding me the other day. Oh gosh, my father was reminding me the other day that I got into UE and I hid the letter I never told them that I got into, I mean, I was
My
just this
gosh.
crazy child. Yes, yeah. But I did undergrad in industrial design in Brazil, and I spent 6 years there. And then when I went back to Trinidad, I actually started working at UWI almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, first as a Portuguese language instructor, and then
Which you were
I
supposed to be for me.
Which what?
Which you were supposed to be for me. I was like, you got to teach me Portuguese. Like, yeah, anytime.
Portuguese. Yeah. Portuguese is a fantastic language, right? And I'm a really good teacher. But I actually met Ken Critchlow at some point at a function at UWI, and he said to me, "Why are you teaching I was teaching at CLL, which is the Center for Language Learning." And he says, "Why are you teaching at CLL and not in DCFA?" Right? And so Ken invited me to come and teach at UWI. This is probably like 1999 or something like that.
Right.
And so first I taught part-time at UWI, and then I became full-time at UWI. And there was a point where I kind of realized I needed more education because when you might as well,
right?
Yeah, that's what you need. So I did an MBA at UWI because I was already working there, and then eventually I did a PhD. At which point I had to take leave from UWI to go and do the PhD in North Carolina. And maybe that's why you think of me as a primary school teacher, because my PhD research was actually tied to primary school age children, where I was using design and design education. I was adapting a design curriculum to make it more appropriate for children, and I was trying to make a design curriculum that could work for rural children.
Right,
so
rural. That is what I remember.
Yeah.
Where was
so
that?
I did my PhD.
Where was that school?
Where was that? That school was in Moruga, actually, Fifth Company Baptist. It's the Anglican school in a room in Moruga.
Yeah, that's.
And I worked with children who were like 8 to 12 years old. And we spent 3 weeks redesigning the world around them, where every week I asked them to critique the world around them, ask some hard questions.
Right.
We had difficult and interesting conversations because we don't know what's in the mind of an 8-year-old.
Listen.
Right? And oh gosh, yeah.
And that was then. Now
it's even different.
Boggles,
because that was pre-pandemic, right? So
that too.
Yeah, I did that, and then I went back. I remained in the States, actually. I didn't, unfortunately, come back to UWI to teach. And in the States, I moved around a bit. So I went to Stanford for a year, and I did a teaching fellowship there. Learned how to teach design in a different way. Then I moved to New Orleans, and I spent 2 years there. Did a lot of work that was focused on community engagement.
Right.
Then I went back to North Carolina. That's the school where I did my PhD. And I worked for 3 years teaching, like, I taught different things, but the main thing that I taught was like almost like a social studies class for designers. So it was to help them.
How was that structured?
Every week we focused on, for the first 6 weeks of the course, every week we focused on a different oppression. And the course was about understanding oppressions and barriers that people face, so that as designers, we don't reproduce those oppressions. And then like the latter part of the course was about the students trying to figure out what change they wanted to make in the world. So that book, that course is actually tied to my book. That course and the training that I did with the children.
Right.
Both of those things are tied to the book, because it means then for the last, let's say, 8 years, I've been asking people to
young
change
people,
the world
students,
and redesign the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the? I'm interested in the composition of the class in North Carolina.
So we started off. You mean the content of the course or the students?
The students.
The students. So the students were primarily from North Carolina. They were, NC State, North Carolina State University is what we call a PWI, or predominantly white institution. And it's an interesting school. It's my alma mater, so I have a certain amount of love for it, right? It's what we call in the States a land grant institution, which means that we have a mission. I'm going to simplify it, and maybe this is not really the mission, but we have a mission to support people move out of poverty, right? So it's not like an elite school. It's supposed to be supposed to have a mission to support rural and just people across the state of North Carolina in general. So most of my students were from North Carolina.
I wonder if that's the same school that Remy went to. I'll ask him.
Okay. In North Carolina?
Yeah, he definitely did university in North Carolina. Just trying to remember. The name of the school doesn't come to mind right now, but go ahead, please.
Yeah. So the students were predominantly white but not only white, right? Because North Carolina is actually a little more diverse than people expect, right? So there would always be some Latino students, Black students, maybe a few East Asian and Southeast Asian students, in Trinidad, what we will call Indian and Chinese, and many rural students, right? And so actually when I got this class, I was supposed to teach a lot about race. And actually, frankly, as a Black woman from the Caribbean, I was a little bit afraid of talking about race in this course. So I had to figure out how was I going to like, how was I going to have these difficult conversations with these students who might not identify with me. So it was frightening, but we worked it out. And so like across the course, we would learn about the specific oppression, like let's say racism. We'd have readings that they'd have to do before class. We'd have some discussions in class. My classes are very interactive. So sometimes they'd have to move around. They'd have to talk with other people. They might have to act, dance, do things in front of the class. And then they also had to do a visual reaction to what they read. So, because at the end of the day, we're a design school. So maybe they had to do a collage, make a game. I remember one week they had to make recipes, so like every week they had to do something kind of more artistic or more designerly.
Yeah, to produce something like physically.
Yes.
Or at least conceptually.
Yes, and then the idea was that they would have to think more about what they read as they did the artwork, right? And so basically that was the semester.
Right. Okay. So how? This was what year?
I did this from maybe 2021 to 2024.
Whoa! So
and then from there, I moved to Canada.
Right. So you were smack dab. I was thinking it was a little before, but you were smack because there's a PhD, so that's the most recent. So you were smack dab in the middle of the pushback on critical race theory.
Oh my God, yes. And I again was very frightened that somebody would report me.
Right.
Because I think I started off talking more directly about it was part of the curriculum, intersectionality, critical theory, and my PhD was done through a critical lens. So it meant that I used critical theory to develop some of the work that I was doing. And then I don't remember at what year things started to change. And really I would get a little bit worried that students would report me in quotes at the end of the semester. I did get like one, so students have to rate it, they have to give feedback. And I remember one year somebody gave me feedback and said something like, "This woman is a communist." And I mean,
not criticism, but feedback.
Well, I didn't know what to do, because I'm like, maybe I am.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, so every now and again I would get stuff like that, people giving feedback about me being a communist or a socialist or a racist but generally people were appreciative of the course. The feedback was predominantly positive,
right?
And people said that they either had to think about things that they never thought about before, or they were kind of thankful that they were finally given space to talk about things that were important to them, but they weren't able to talk about in other courses. So,
right. So
you can't please everybody.
No, and you shouldn't try.
Exactly.
So how is not the what does someone do after your course? What field do they enter generally? And something like this where you go through this period of critical thinking, of thinking of things differently, of thinking of things with the intention to design something after. What do your students get into? Because this would be a more structural kind of creativity than just doing art. If I don't want to, offend the artist, right? But your background, you said, is in industrial design, is in so that is architecture, that is interior
like
design, like conceptual, but you are dealing with something that is designed to be experienced and used, right? So what fields do your students branch out into, and what is the most, I guess, surprising one that you know of?
That's a good question. Okay, so I'm the educator that people get frustrated with, because I tell people something like, I'm educating you for life, not for a job, that kind of airy fairy talk. But the thing is, I believe it, right? That if students are supported to think critically, they can go and work anywhere, right? So I really have strong reactions to like focus on skills, and I want people to focus on thinking, right? I have to apologize to you. I'm a little jet lagged, so I have to drink a lot of water.
Right, yeah.
And that's why my voice is so croaky today.
No worry, and it's fairly early in the morning as well, so it's probably happening to me. I just probably ignoring it.
Yeah. But I can answer your question. So a lot of people, surprisingly, they're not really trained to go into UX, but UX or user experience is where actually there are a lot of opportunities and jobs exist for user experience, which is an area in design. And the thing is about user experience is that the people can go into user experience from many different backgrounds. So that's why it's a good place for some of my graduates to go into. So that's where I hear people getting some opportunities. And because they can think critically, it means that they're not thinking about user experience from like a really, they're not thinking of just the average user.
It's not linear.
They'll think a little more critically about the user's needs because we talked about oppression. They'll ask harder questions, which is what we need to make better products, right? So they'll think more intentionally about people with disabilities, people who experience racism, people who experience sexism, And like when they ask me, which they have, where do I hope they'll go off and work? I kind of say I want them to go and work everywhere because I want designers. We'll all get better design products if they're designed by designers who aren't just thinking about beauty. And I like beautiful things as well.
We could tell.
I do want. Well, yeah, I try to be colorful and not try to blend in and things like that. And today is our we have an office party, and so I'm very colorful today. But I think the best opportunities for students have been there. Another interesting place that a few students get opportunities, not a whole lot. There are some governments, whether it's local governments or some organizations that actually are taking on designers now to help them design policies, to design programs, because the work that I do is also very relevant to social innovation, which is an area, a kind of newer area that design is connected to. And so some people go off to work in social innovation as well because they have a better understanding of society because they've thought about all of these problems.
Yeah, I mean the key is getting them to think about the issues or think about a problem. Break it down, find out what the core competencies are that they would need to make something to deal with that, right? That is my understanding.
Yes. And the thing is, designers you're a designer as well, aren't you? You did graphic design, no?
A little bit. I'm fighting up with it.
Okay. But whether you're designing a poster or a social program, you're kind of using, not everyone will agree, I suppose, but you're using the same skills where you're identifying an issue that you want to address, right? Or you want to make a poster to promote, I'm going to talk in terms that people get, right? You want to make a poster to promote a party, right? You're doing a fat poster. You know that there's some things that you need for the poster to work well. And the other person on the other side is trying to make a social program, a school feeding program for primary schools.
Right.
You can also think through, you need certain things to make this program go well. And so there's like a certain organizational skill that designers have. Generally, designers are supposed to be able to ask the right questions, supposed to be able to kind of know how to organize the information, how to listen to people. And so the skills that we use to make the pretty stuff, we can also use to make other things better. And then that's the rationale of the work that I do.
Right. So last week we had a costume designer, Sarah Woodham. She is she's based in the UK and she's working with screen and stage because it's film and TV, right? So screen and in UTT and went to Yale, which she forgot to mention. But yeah, and then went over to the UK to work, and she's talking about, or was talking about, the amount of research that you have to do to, like you said, organize the information, because when you're thinking about, when you have the responsibility to think about how this is presented and how it's curated, then you see so much so much of the project. You're so intimate with the imagery, because I mean, people on stage, people on the screen, they need to have clothes on, right? So sometimes you have to make it, sometimes you have to source it, sometimes you have to, do a mix of both. And she's talking about it could take, according to budgets and all of that, a month to a year, according to the project. So when you have a design brief, right, or an idea to make something, how deep down in research do you go, and or do you just research the problem and create, your intention is to make something new or to improve on things that already exist? Yeah, I think that is my question.
Okay. So actually, I'm a co-designer. So whereas Sarah might design something, what she designs starts with her. Like people who are doing like costume and fashion and things like that, I guess what they design will start with their idea. And when I used to design furniture, the idea started with me. But now the kind of designer I am, I always work with many people. And the design, I mean, I might have the start of an idea, but I typically work with, bring together, facilitate a group of people, and then ask them to give feedback on the starting point that I have. And then we design the thing together. So even like that, that work that I did with the children, the program that I designed the program, but then I went and I spoke with the children's parents, and I said, this is a program that I'm going to do. Please provide some feedback. And then I'd try to see, well, okay, was I going to incorporate their feedback or not? And then even as I was working with the children, every week we had a focus group. I shouldn't even put it in inverted commas, because we did have a focus group.
It wasn't just, it wasn't a lie.
It wasn't a lie. And these children very kindly gave me their opinion on the class last week. And then we redesigned the class together for the following week. So this is actually the way that I tend to work now, where, so the research I do is before I present a first idea, I will do a lot of research. And then what am I designing these days? I'm in education.
Right.
So like right now, I'm designing some new programs. I'm going to do the research, and then I'm going to present the research to a group of, I'll present like a sketch of something to a group of faculty. Every time I go into that kind of like design presentation where I'm presenting something that I've designed, because of the way I work today, I know that the finished design will never look like what I presented. So I present my thing, and I am expecting people to add to the thing that I've presented, take apart the thing that I've presented. What I present is almost a sacrificial product, because I'm hoping that the group is going to work together to design something new.
Right. It's just to start the conversation, and
Exactly.
I mean, we're not going to Maracas Valley, St. Joseph, but we're going north.
Exactly. Right. Or I will start off saying, something like, how about Maracas St. Joseph? But I'm waiting for people to say, that's a terrible idea.
Right.
That bridge in Maracas will get flooded and we can't cross it. And no,
right. A tree fall down there and thing and that traffic in the evening and right.
Exactly. And they say, you know what? We really think that this is the other place that we should be going. And then I'll start redesigning. So I'll do another design process around what the people have said.
I mean, that's the easiest way to get consensus, right?
That's the thing.
Make sure it's their idea, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's the way I work today, where I don't know if I would know anymore how to design in a way where I'm just coming and saying, this is my design and take it or leave it. Because that's not the way I can't work like that anymore in the work that I'm doing right now.
All right. Well, I think we had 24 minutes, boy. Nice. We had a good a good juncture to take a little break. We have to give a little word to the people that helping us keep this thing going. Donate 68 who facilitating the contributions from our audience, for which we are very grateful. So we'll take a word from Donate 68 and be right back.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much-needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much-needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
All right, people, we're back. Talking here with my friend Lesleyann Noel, but Dr. Lesleyann Noel to you. We're just talking about her career and an area of study in design and academics and education. There is something that, as I mentioned, Sarah, last week, I like to link things that previous guests said to what people bringing up, because I believe everything is interconnected. I also believe that the people who come from Trinidad and end up in different fields, because Trinidad is so small and so close knit. You can't help but have similarities in personality, in their world outlook, in work ethic, in just the way they see the world, right? Because they're open to that, and those opportunities come to them. So when certain things come up, I like to pull the connections and try to make connections. So we're talking about
Sarah's parents are artists, not so?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm connected to Sarah. I mean, Sarah doesn't know she's connected to me, but
don't worry. At the end, should I say it now, boy? Should I let the cat out of the bag?
I don't know.
I will tell you when we're done. I'll tell you what the plan is.
Okay.
Right? So hold me to that. I will tell you what the plan is. But back to what Sarah spoke about last week was amassing in her field of study, in her industry, amassing a vocabulary and learning to put words to certain ideas and certain needs, right? And not necessarily her product being words or things that you could vocalize, because her work is presenting, I don't want to say the wardrobe, because she made the distinction at the first the first thing. Wardrobe and costume is two different things. But in terms of her output is not vocalized at all. So she has to get the brief from director, scriptwriter, whoever. Formulate ideas, translate that into something physical that has to perform a function. And that is what communicates all the work and all the research from the director, scriptwriter, and probably lead designer, right? So she is effectively a translator.
That's a term that I have used as well, actually. That's
right, but the medium is costuming. But it's the same thing you're talking about, having a skill set and learning how to think a certain way, right? She could use that skill set anywhere.
Yes. How I use the translation part is because I then design with groups. I'm the translator, or I'm facilitating the communication of some ideas that might be in people's heads.
Right.
They're not designers. When I say that, they are designers, but they maybe don't have like the skills of drawing, or they don't do the work that a designer like me would.
Right.
And so I end up being a bit of a translator or a facilitator to communicate between, help them take the idea out of their head and for us to then realize, turn that idea into something concrete, right? And, I like to use, yes, I did that work with the children a long time ago, but you see that work I really had to analyze. And so I have a lot of examples from that work. So an example of this translation, the children had to critique the school around them. And then they started to talk about these mango trees that were giving them trouble.
What do you mean giving them trouble?
And I asked them what's wrong with the school. And everybody started to talk about these mango trees. And I'm like, but you all have nice Julie mango trees here. What is the problem?
They're complaining about Julie?
Well, they weren't really complaining about the mango trees. They were complaining about some of the rules tied to the mango trees. So you couldn't climb the tree. You couldn't pick the mangoes. You couldn't, right. So I ended up being a translator.
Where the complaint would be coming from.
Yeah, so they were complaining about the structure. And then the funny thing is that they design all of these tools to pick mangoes and things like that when we reach the design part. But then when I was talking with the principal afterwards, he was like, I didn't know that this was an issue. So it's like I then kind of became this translator. Maybe it's not an issue that could be fixed, but this is the way I'm seeing this co-design work that I do. It then gives us some ways of of uncovering some issues that might not always be obvious, right? And then I end up being then this translator or facilitator to help the communication between different groups of people.
Right. How you see that scaling to society and societal problems? I guess you just getting more students out into the world is one way of doing it.
That's one way. Yeah. That is in fact one thing, because if more and more people have these skills of translation or skills of communication, then I naively think that will make the world a better place, right? But how am I trying to scale this? I took on the challenge of joining administration, and it is a challenge. But I have to now work with 70 faculty members, because we have 70 faculty, and I support close to 3,000 students.
Wow.
I don't engage often with the students. I engage more regularly with faculty and with the program chairs. But, I have to then play this kind of role where I am this translator between upper admin or our senior leadership team, our faculty, and our students. And somehow I have to keep that conversation going and see along the way, what are the issues that people are facing? And I have to have a way of translating, getting people to say clearly what the issues are.
Yeah.
Because people don't always, people aren't always able to say what the problem is. So I have to create mechanisms for people to be able to talk about those issues. I have to do a little research about how we could solve it, but I also have to talk with people about how they think we should be solving these issues. And then I have to make sure that the solutions that we're coming up with align with the strategy of the university, align with the senior leadership direction. So that's the translation work that I'm doing now that I'm trying to scale. And then again, if we scale again, I'm hoping that by having a certain kind of leadership style, that in itself scales and provides examples for other people to lead in a certain way. Because my leadership style is influenced by, yes, of course, me being a designer, but it is a style that I noticed in somebody else, and I emulated their leadership style. So it's like in being, again, I'll use kind of airy-fairy language, in being good people, right? We are providing examples and models for other people to continue doing the work that they do.
Absolutely.
So that's how we're kind of scaling. Yes. Yeah.
Sitting here and we're talking about this and talking about the similarities and making connections. The translator skill, for want of a better term, also came up with Rana Haynes, who is a climate change and environmental specialist. She was, look, another connection. She was in Rio, what was that? Almost a month ago. We had a show going on for more than a month. Yes, I had to think back. that was episode 3, I think. Yeah, she was at the COP30 meeting in Rio and gave us some time, just like you are, which we appreciate in between things, right? So yeah, she was saying that one of her main facets is being a translator from how the data is collected and collated, right? Is just numbers, is variations in temperature, this kind of this chemical, this thing, right? But it's an amalgamation of a lot of data, because you have all the data that is collected, she has to absorb, and then so we're talking physics, chemistry, political, economic, everything, right? Because we're talking about the environment. So she has to absorb all of that, make sense of it. See, she sees the graphs before the graphs even come out, come out the computer and whatever, and then inform a head of state, a CEO, and stuff like that. That's what she was actually doing while she was here before moving to the company she is with now, if I remember correctly. Doing just that to the line minister. So I am beginning to see that is definitely, absolutely one of the talents that Trinidadians have. The ability to do that translating, because I might have to study or interview 2 or 3 more people, and I feel we could definitely we could check
We
that
could hit on
box.
something.
Yeah, we could check that box. We are good translators.
You know what? So I think that we are or can be very interested in people, and that there are a lot of there are quite a few Colombian theorists right now, or Latin American theorists who write about relationality. I mean, that's a big word, but it is about being in relations or in relationship with each other. And that theory or that way of thinking is in fact very relevant to life in Latin America and the Caribbean, right? That we are always in relationship with each other. And since moving to North America, because now I'm in Canada, I have noticed that our relationality, right, changes then the way that we interact with each other, which is different to the way North Americans might interact with each other. So that might be tied to what you're saying. Yeah. It might be tied to what you're saying about the translation. We are invested in people, right? So, I mean, you started off and you weren't sure how we know each other. We've known each other I'm going to age you now.
Oh gosh, I pulled out the grays yesterday, you know.
You can put them back in.
No, I don't want to put them back in. They're coming back.
Oh God. Well, we've known each other, I would think, this year is, let's say about 25, more than 25
More than 25 years.
27 years, maybe.
98.
Yes, about that. Yeah, 1998.
If it's 98, it has to be ESC.
It's different connections. So it's ESC. And what school you went to?
St.
Did you
Anthony's.
go to Trinity?
No.
St. Anthony's. Oh, well, I actually taught in St. Anthony's for a little bit. So I don't know if I taught you.
No, I don't. No, you didn't.
No, I don't think so. But that could have been possible. But I think that you know my brother as well.
Andre,
but
right.
Yes. So I wasn't sure if you had gone to school with Andre, but you know, through Andre and Kelvin and ESC, and that's kind of our initial connection.
Yeah,
but because we're Trinidad.
So many ways is a blur. I can't remember like the first time. Yeah, I remember the designing furniture and all of that. Yeah, I remember all of that stuff.
Yeah. But we don't drop that connection or that relationship. So it doesn't matter that 27 years have passed. If I see you, where did we see each other last? Was it Maracas?
We saw by Maracas, somewhere.
Yeah. And I'm not going to pass you straight, right? You're not going to pass me straight. We're going to stop and we're going to talk and we're going to catch up and say, what are you doing and whatnot. And I think that's I
hug up your son and he's like, who is this man?
But that's really important, actually. You know, like 1 year, this is pre-pandemic, I did a project with students from Lockjack, you know, from the business school.
Right.
I think there might have been a few DCFA students and students from Stanford University. And the professors in Trinidad, I was one of the professors, and then Michael Lipoy, who is actually also here in Canada, he was another professor.
Right, look at that. I saw Michael last week.
Yes. Yeah. And we did this project where the students in Trinidad had to analyze the students in California. And then, I mean, it was just a really interesting exercise over 2 weeks. And then the students at the end of it said, wow, we didn't know that life in California could seem so maybe a little lonely.
Lonely?
And yeah, I'm going to drink some water.
Go ahead.
And then it was kind of interesting that they said, isn't it interesting that all of the social media, oh my goodness, sorry, I hope you could cut that out.
No, we'll deal with that. Don't worry.
Yeah, So they were saying it was kind of interesting that all the social media comes from that part of the world. But the really social people are in Trinidad or are in Latin America. So we had this interesting thought experiment about what would Facebook look like if it was designed in Trinidad.
Listen.
You know, what would we change, right?
Yeah.
Because we like people.
You're forcing me, Leslie, you're forcing me to invite somebody I didn't think I was ready yet. I was ready for yet. But
yeah, you're going to invite her? I say it's her. I know who you're talking about. I think
you know who I'm talking about. But if I do that before the end of the year, how many shows we have? 2 more shows left before the end of the year, and we can't get her. I will use that clip, that soundbite you just give me there.
Yeah.
To as the bait on the hook. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we like people.
We like people, and we do things in a different way because we like people. We're invested in people. We are invested in relationships in a way that people might not be in North America or the global North in general.
Right. So,
and I figure that there's something there that we have to use. You know,
that's another skill that we have, making people feel welcome, and just bringing people in. So that touches on something that was in the back of my mind, because you have taught at university level all over South America, Trinidad, North America, North America, US and Canada, right? So,
US and Canada, yes. Yeah.
And you did touch on the students in California and the loneliness, or was loneliness as in solitude, or just being away from a support structure. In what way would they be lonely? Because the question I'm asking is about major cultural differences in those environments, specifically compared to Trinidad.
Well, you'll find lots of articles talking about the loneliness crisis in the US, in Canada as well, just across Gen Z. But it's really Gen Z in the global North. I don't know. The articles are about Gen Z in the global North. I don't know if they have the same crisis in the global South, right?
Yeah, well, we may not be that important to them anyway.
We have to write our own, do our own research about ourselves.
There you go.
Right? But the loneliness is that life in these places focuses so much on individualism that you forget that you are part of something bigger. That you might forget that you don't have to be alone, right? That because we lime all the time, we are making new friendships and relationships all the time.
Yeah.
And there your social circles are smaller. So it's, actually right now there's a phenomenon that is so sad with children who are going, the term is called no contact, right? So, well, I say children, it's not children. People who are going no contact with their parents.
With their parents?
As they can. Yeah.
Define,
so like as soon as they turn 18.
Define no contact.
No contact means that they have decided to not be in touch with their parents anymore for the rest of their lives.
Lord.
Can you imagine that? And that's a phenomenon. And the phenomenon, I mean, people have written about it. Oprah just did a podcast about it. It is such a big thing. I think in Trinidad, I mean, this might have its own problems tied to it, but in Trinidad, somebody would say, "Girl, go and call your mother now." Nobody would let you do that.
Yeah.
The place is too small, And I think it is a very sad, that is a very sad phenomenon. And it's that the society, I think that the society in, whether it's in the States, in Canada, is really set up for people to focus on their individualism in a way that I think can be detrimental to society.
I mean, by definition, if you're causing that separation in a family, then naturally society is breaking down, because that is a support structure. Well, I don't know if they see it as a support structure. It shouldn't be something that you just get rid of. I mean, while I understand some people's parents might be, a bit much to deal with.
Some parents we might need to cut.
Yeah, and some people you need the space, right? But that no contact thing, I don't see that flying here at all.
No.
Nah, that is a mad scene. But all right, so we could take a little break here, because I want to come back and I want to talk about your smile. So,
oh my goodness!
Yes,
okay.
the best. Listen, the best smile in the world. I said it in the promo, and I stand by that. And we'll talk.
I will take that.
We'll talk about that when we come back. We're taking our break now.
All right. Yes. Okay. Great.
Need to raise funds for your next creative project, event, or invention? Or maybe you or a family member are raising funds for much needed medical treatment. Now, you can get started raising that much needed cash via Donate68.com, the newest 100% homegrown crowdfunding platform in Trinidad and Tobago. Donate68.com accepts donations from all major credit cards, but not only that, for those without a credit card, you can use your everyday Visa debit card to make donations. So log on today and create a campaign for your next passion project, startup, or cause. Share your campaign with your community of family, friends, and supporters to get the financial backing you need. Donate68.com, funding your culture.
Right. And we're back. We're back with my friend, Lesleyann Noel, Dr. Lesleyann Noel to all you, right? So we got a good idea of you in your professional life, in your career, and your outlook for your work as it expands into the world through your students and your personal contributions. So I want to, we good with that. I want to talk about you and your personality and how disarming and pleasant you are, and how you make people feel so comfortable, like immediately. I was going through your social media, looking for photos for the promotion of the episode, and when I catch myself, I had about 30-something pictures. 30-something pictures. I was like, but this ain't making any sense. This woman hugging up everybody in the picture, smiling. It's not a come for a picture and somebody just getting you the smile, the body language, the closeness, everything. And your selfie skills are par excellent.
Oh boy, I'll take that.
You master the selfie. Nobody ears cut off. Nobody, everybody is properly framed in the selfie, which is very hard to do. But talk to me about your way or your style of approaching people and getting them to interact with you professionally as an educator, as a teacher, and just where did that come from?
That's a good question. I am going to start off and say that somehow this is probably connected to my father. Because I don't know if you ever met my dad, but people who know my father, his name is Kenneth Noel, Kenty Noel to his friends. And
did I meet him? I
you
must have.
may have met him
have.
somewhere
Yeah.
at some time. But he's like that, where he is warm and open and friendly, and everybody knows Kenty from Point, right? And so maybe that's tied to him. I never really thought about that before, about like my way of being as connected to him. But I think that could be a starting point.
Right.
So I grew up in a home then with that kind of openness. My parents were, they're friendly people, right? They have a lot of friends. They're warm. So there's that starting point. Then I think since I went to South America after finishing high school and was put into a society where, again, people are warm and open and genuinely interested in people, I think that would have also affected my personality.
Right.
And then eventually, so after that, I went back to Trinidad and spent some time, and before I went to the States, right? I spent a long time in Trinidad before I went to the States, right? But the thing is, I am interested in people, and I'm interested in people's happiness. I'm interested in my happiness. So it's not even that I'm because some people are interested in other people's happiness at the expense of theirs.
Yeah, to their detriment, yeah. People pleasers.
That's not me. That's not me. I want to be happy, right? But I want to be happy, and I want you to be happy.
Nice.
And I want to be successful, and I want you to be successful. So, part of this interest in people is about like supporting people's success, right? And I get real pleasure from my relationships with people, because my friendships make me happy. I like spending time. I like time alone, but I like time with people as well. So, I mean, that's really what it is, that I like people. People know that I like them, and that energy that you see in social media is real.
I could definitely attest to that, if Leslie smile at you, you will know, all right, yeah, we good or we not good.
It's real.
Yeah. I saw this thing the other day. There's a new kind of personality that was discovered or labeled.
Oh, really?
It's not introvert. It's not what's the other one? Introvert.
It's not extrovert. Is that
introvert, extrovert. Yeah. It's somebody who would they don't mind being by themselves, but if they are around people with certain energies, then they would be more extroverted.
Okay, that's interesting.
But people don't drain them, so they're not necessarily introverted. It was weird, but I'll find it and read up on it, because I was like, that's kind of like me, but not really. So there probably is or are more personality archetypes that we have yet to discover. But I was thinking, so Les is definitely a extrovert, but I may be wrong. So what would you say you fall into?
I am probably an extrovert. I have no problems with being by myself, right? I do like some time alone. I'm quite comfortable not engaging with people, but I am probably a little more extroverted because I yeah, I do like that energy of connecting with people. I'm comfortable with people. I enjoy people, and yeah, I'm very people centered. So yeah, I'm probably more of an extrovert.
Yeah, and that would be a nice place to start with if you're going to be an educator, right? Because I've known some teachers that should not have been there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's the thing.
Dealing with the people children and you don't like people. So yeah, so we're grateful to have people like you in the system. We're glad to have you in a position where you're determined to make that change and institute that change in your students and your colleagues, the faculty, and the system itself. I hope that at some point you make a tack back and help me out here now, Gill.
No, that's probably real. I don't know when it is. So when I went back, I cut you, right? And you're probably ready to go in a different direction. But
no.
When I went back to Trinidad after living in Brazil, people asked me, like for years, people would ask me, well, why you came back home, right? And, people who ask that, they don't understand that it's not the easiest thing in the world to just pick up and transplant yourself in another country, right? And then the other thing is that I shouldn't have to justify why I want to come back home or why I went back home.
Absolutely.
So Trinidad has always been the place where I have left and come back and left and come back so many times. Sometimes it's a long thing, it's a short thing. So like when I went to Brazil, that was long. You probably remember when I used to work on different projects in East Africa.
Right,
and, those were short things where maybe I'd be gone for 6 months and come back. So I think that, yes, I will make a tack back. And you'll see me in the grocery.
Yeah.
All the years I lived in Brazil, I think that there were people who had no idea that I did not live in Trinidad, because I have always made it a point to be in Trinidad many times a year. And so, yeah, you might see me in the grocery one day and you might say, how life going in Toronto? I'll say, boy, I moved back here.
And setting up an institute to deal with that is what we need. We need you. We need
in Maruga.
Yeah, definitely. Nine Tong or Woodbrook or anything like that. Yeah, go to the people that need that energy and need that exposure. And speaking of exposure, because we also want to harp on two things so far. That translator skill, that translation skill that trainees have, and two, being ready for opportunities, right? Because this is something that came up a few times with people who were, really into their craft and, in a position that they didn't know that they were ready, right? But when the opportunity came and, and they took it, they realized, wait, no, this is something I could really do. And then they start to, it's like you're supposed to be a big tree, but you was in a small pot. And then you get transplanted and you realize, but wait now, my roots could go further. Oh shucks, wait, it's a big tree, right? So what are the opportunities for study in your field, like and I'm talking about scholarships, grants, things like that. I think that's a good jump off point for us to close this, and I have an invitation for you when we're done.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my own story. way back in that last century, 1991. Oh my God, that is like 100 years ago. But when I finished Form 6 and wanted to go to university, and my parents gave me the biggest challenge in the world because they were like, you don't want to go to UE? Well, you could go anywhere in the world as long as you pay for it.
Mm-hmm. That is Trini parents.
But that's a good challenge because what happened to me is then I actually, that was pre-internet. I went to every single embassy to figure out what the opportunities were. And so I say that to remind people that, yes, there are opportunities out there. And you have to kind of put yourself out there to find them. Okay, so I applied to go to school in France, to go to school in Nigeria, to, all of these different places.
And this is by actually writing letters or typing them out and printing and putting in the envelope and putting the stamp and going to the post office and making sure it goes.
This was work.
This was not
and
email.
I did it. This was before email, right?
So.
And you had to write to the schools and get a prospectus, and I did it. And then I met these people in the Brazilian embassy who said, well, why don't just apply here, right? And that worked out, right? So, I mean, I say that to tell people that you have to go out there and you have to apply to stuff because there are opportunities everywhere, but they're not going to just come to you if you don't put yourself out there.
Correct, is right.
Yeah, so that said, what are the possibilities to come? So I work at O.U.R University in Toronto. We have, well, I'll tell you about design because I'm the Dean of Design. And we have 6 undergrad programs. 6 undergrad programs in design, advertising, graphic design, industrial design. I don't know, 6 of them, right? And we have several master's program in design. Now, as much as I love my school, I would always encourage people to get as much education as you can in Trinidad and then continue elsewhere, So I would encourage people to do undergrad in Trinidad and then apply to do, for example, a master's at O.U.R or a school overseas or something like that, right? Unless you are rolling in money. And if you have a trust fund, I would say, of course, reach out to me. And you don't even have to reach out to me. But, O.U.R is a great place to be.
Right.
We have a mission around decolonizing and indigenizing and really doing radical things with design curriculum. And that makes it a good space for a lot of people to be, So like right now, I was in Brazil last week, as you know.
Yeah.
Because, Brazilian researchers are very interested in doing work with us at O.U.R. So, I mean, even that becomes a possibility. There is a possibility of doing work through a Caribbean institution with us at O.U.R. So that's the kind of conversation I'm having with the people in Brazil, where they'll be doing their masters or PhDs in Brazil, but they're doing these little, what they call sandwich programs at O.U.R, where we can do that research across different institutions. So that's another opportunity, where people can stay in their home institution,
right,
but partner with an institution abroad if they wanted to, for like exposure and things like that. So, I'll just encourage people. There are opportunities still in the different embassies. Like at the start of our conversation, we were talking about the JET program.
Yeah.
And the Brazilian embassy, I think, still has the program that I went to Brazil on. I know that the UK embassy, I believe they still have the Chevening Scholarship. But, so I always encourage people to look for those opportunities. And you have to learn to say yes. I think that has changed my life, right? I sometimes hear other people talking about their barriers and boundaries. Well, me, I ain't gonna do that,
I'm
And
going so far. Ting, ting, ting.
yeah. I go have to do so much stuff. That's too much work, and I have had an openness in my life that has created opportunities, and I've been open to the opportunities, and yeah, it comes from kind of saying yes, like, why not? The woman from the Brazilian embassy met me in Long Circular Mall. This is so funny. I was selling these little tie-dye scarves, and she was buying a scarf from me, and she says, why you don't go to Brazil? And I was like, yeah, why not?
Just like
this
that.
little crazy 17, 18-year-old. But that's the thing, that these opportunities just sometimes show up, and you have to say, why not?
Yeah.
And actually, she said to me, if you don't like it, you come back home. That's all. And that's the thing. If things don't work out, you could start over. You could do something else. You could,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just what I encourage people to do as they move through life.
Yeah, we had to find a way to incorporate some music in this thing, because Gill Scott Heron had a song where he said, no matter how far along you've gone, you could always turn around,
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Right, I think we at a nice point there. That's a nice piece of advice. And so your invitation is, because you have just completed your outer view, and the show the show is international, right? So we have the interview to do, which would be whenever you're in Trinidad, whenever you're down here, to come in person. It's a less formal conversation. We could have a little drink, have a little finger food, and so on. And we'll talk about some other things. I already know what I want to talk to you about. I wonder if I should tell you to so you go be prepared, boy. Trinidad Carnival, I don't want to say versus, or as compared to.
Oh Lord, don't give me this.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you now. Trinidad Carnival, I don't want to say versus, because I don't want it to be versus, but your observations between Trinidad and Rio Carnival, Brazil Carnival. We definitely going and talk about architecture. Okay. And God, that is about 2 hours there already, But
oh my God.
but we'll work it out. Thank you once again, Dr. Lesleyann Noel, for granting us your time and shifting things in your schedule. I really appreciate it. I'm sure that the people watching this today, because we're airing it on Wednesday, and people who pick it up in the future will grab a lot of information from this, and it will be beneficial to them. We are building. Remind me to tell you what the plan for the show is. But we building up something that I definitely want you to be a part of, and we're glad that you're here with us.
All right. Well, thank you for the invitation. This has been a good conversation, but I knew it would be, right?
Hey, after checking with you from Portuguese lessons, and we had a talk really about that thing I'm going to talk to you about when we done this. Okay. So we are the end here now. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
You are a true international from since I know you. And you're a prime example of the kind of person that we want spreading the brand and the ideals of a Trini making his and her way in the world. You are a shining example. You are a really good person, and we're glad to have you, as one of us. So take care, my dear. We'll talk. I think we should end it here, or I'll call you. Because I ain't want it recorded no way. All right, so take care.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, bye.
Okay, okay, bye-bye.
Yes, hey, the interview was good, boy. But you know how the thing does go. When Trini is talking and the talk gets sweet, we talk too much, right? Well, too much. We just went over the allotted time for the segment, but still a rich conversation and still incomplete. But we have to move on. We expect Lesleyann to be Dr. Noel to be back with us at some point in the future, near or further. But moving on to other things, moving on to where there's a bucket list, boy. Maybe, but it's a very proud moment for me. If you're following the show and you're on the broadcast list and all of that, you would know that the person who I'm about to introduce is a childhood friend I'm talking about from primary school. Right? Same village, same street. Parents are friends. All of us grew up together in each other's yard, running around the place, getting trouble, going to school. Well, we'll talk about the school in a little bit. But most recently, and he has been, dedicated to a particular life and a particular discipline from very early, which we'll talk about as well. But that has led up to most recently him being promoted to the head of this region in his organization. And I'll run the clip now. Because the clip from the promo have some Easter eggs. I want to check your reaction. I want to check your reaction when it play. Run it there, Skipper. You want to see that?
I went into the internet for this, but
yeah, you get the Street Fighter.
Yes, man. That's a real Easter egg you pulled it.
Yeah, no. If you know how they go for that Street Fighter.
Yes, man.
But nah. What you can bring it to the front desk, turn the camera, Matex. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting next to me here is my boy, a man I'm real proud of. I knew this day was coming. I just didn't know when, because you've been doing the work and you've been making us proud and you've been representing. Actually, I had contacted this man to be on a segment that we're still going to have called Frequent Flyers. Because of what he doing, he always out the country. I say, hey, where we lineman later? Ting, yeah, wrong. He say, nah, boy, I in Bosnia, I in thing, But this introduction going too long. There's my boy here, Warren Gill, new head of get him the title, my boss.
The now new head of officials for the Pan American region for the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation and commissioner for the international body.
Nice. So you see what we're dealing with. Real bad man. Right? So let me take it from the beginning now. Where you from? Tell them. Where we from?
Well, everybody's supposed to know by now, if all our followers of this show, that we from Carenage.
Yeah.
Lansmeter Road.
Lansmeter Road, Carenage, boy, in the house.
Like you say, we grew up from baby together.
Yeah.
Lime together, hang out together, up to this day. I'm in my 50s and I still liming with you still. You know, every Sunday in the barber shop. Shout out to my boy.
Shout out to Declan.
And yeah, we've just been friends ever since, and we've been moving. I've been moving, doing this thing for the past 15 years. I've been moving. So finally, the fruits of the labor starting to show.
Hey, talk about fruits of labor. You go ahead, the boss.
Yeah, the fruits of the labor starting to show, and you know, it's a proud time for our country to have somebody from, as I've been told once, from such a dot of a country to have such a prominent position within the organization. So it is a good time. It is a good time.
Yeah, and well deserved. And well, one thing I don't like, you know me, I don't like to have no thirsty lime, right?
How this looking like the best rum punch in Trinidad?
I don't like to have no dry lime. So
how it's looking like the best rum punch in Trinidad and Tobago? So
from the time I see my boy accept the invitation, there's your first interview, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Officially his first interview. I send out the bat signal now. And I always say we don't have, well, I hope I don't have to say it for too long. We don't have sponsors, we don't have staff. Most of the time is Gilligan and Skipper on the boat, right? And sometimes it's 2.5 men. So but we don't have sponsors, we don't have staff, but we have friends, right? And one of our friends from Stingers Rum Punch. Hey, let me pour you first, but use the boss here.
Gracias,
hey,
gracias,
respect is due. Right. So we have some Stingers Rum Punch. Thank you, Hassani. Thank you, Stingers.
I know Hassani is one of my students, right?
Hey,
He's one of my jiu-jitsu students. So thank you very much, Hassani. And if you all never tried this, try it. It's divine.
Listen. And it's versatile too. But there's not ad for Stingers, really. Congratulations,
Thank
Chief.
you, sir.
I'm proud of you. I don't know why people could be haters, you know. When you grow up with somebody or you just know somebody who doing work and they're getting rewarded and advancing in the field and all of that, how people could be vexed with that, boy?
You know the culture. You know the culture of it's something we as ebony people have to learn to move away from.
Right.
We have to be more supportive. We have to learn to be supportive.
Yeah.
It's the only way. It's actually what keeps us from making milestones like this more common.
Right, yeah.
We mustn't pull each other down. We must support and push. So
absolutely.
Like, as soon as you saw it, you reach out to me.
Listen, one time we had to celebrate this, boy. There's a big deal.
This is what we need.
It's such a big deal, brother. Let me read out the countries in the national federations that fall under Pan America for IMMAF, right? Argentina, Aruba, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bolivia, Brazil, Canada, Cayman Islands, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Puerto Rico, Trinidad and Tobago, Uruguay, United States of America, and Venezuela. Look who at the bottom here. Bacchanal. United States of America and Venezuela. This man in charge of the referees and officials?
Referees, officials, judges, the whole running of the top competition.
Lord.
Once it in the Pan American region, falls squarely in my purview.
Wow. So, for want of a better term, use the Jack Warner MMA.
Well, I would consider the Jack Warner MMA my local president, who is also the vice president of the Pan American region. A very powerful guy within the organization and within combat sports generally in Trinidad, Mr. Jason Frazier.
Nice.
He's been doing stuff in combat sports all these years. He is actually pivotal of me achieving this goal.
Right.
Because your president have to lobby for you on the international
Yeah, you have to have the support of your federation.
And also because he's the vice president of the Pan American region, he's the one who's going to go around. It's like politics.
Right.
And lobby for you and show what you can and cannot do and bring you to different countries to run courses and stuff like that for them to build up your value. So this achievement rests squarely on his shoulders. So, you know, I just want to formally thank him on this podcast.
Likewise.
For the belief that he had in us, the belief he had in Trinidad being able to do this thing, and the belief he had in me. So, Jason, thank you very much.
Yeah, and it bear fruit, you know. So you mentioned a word there, politics.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'd have gone through your share, and would have also with the prospect of being in this position in the future, in the back of your mind, you have I don't know, what is the word? Intentions to probably address some of the things that you yourself experience?
Oh, for sure. The funny story of how I actually got into becoming an official it was political. Because I used to be the coach of the team. I used to train people. As you know. I train fighters. I have a dojo in Barataria, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And I train fighters. I have a fight stable, a school called Fight Club, which we do strictly competitive fighting, professional
MMA,
fighting. And I traveled 1 year with the team to Colombia for Pan American, and I was just the coach at that point in time.
Right.
And we had a raw deal in the competition. Trinidad got a raw deal in the competition. And I became vocal about it as the coach in my rights. And I remember the head official at that time looked me square in the eye and told me, I have to go along with the decision because we do not have that much trained officials in the Pan American region. So I have to take it. And I said, well, no, I don't have to take it. You know, I can protest. And he said, well, why don't you become a referee and see what it's like? And I looked at him and I was like,
why this man challenge you?
Okay.
Why the man challenge you?
Yeah, so that's how I actually got into officiating. I threw my hat in the ring. I made a request to join the referee cadre.
Right.
At that point in time, the person who was in charge of referees at that point in time was a very stalwart person within the IMMAF, which is Dr. Andrew Musinov. He's Russian. And I made a bid to him, and he was like, well, Gill, you know, this requires a certain level of understanding and skill. So I went through the whole process, did the refereeing course with Herb Dean, did all these things, put everything in place, and then I joined it, and the rest is history, as you can see. I moved through the ranks.
Nice.
Went from official to head official to cage leader, worked my way up step by step.
Yeah, as you should. And well, you also train in officials.
Yes, it is one of the responsibilities of head referees in regions is to train the region and keep the level of the referees.
Right, and keep the consistency.
Yes, the consistency and keep the organization's goals forefront in what they want for officiating and stuff like that. So I have been to several Caribbean islands already because I have to pick up my Caribbean people first. We went to Guyana, St. Lucia, Grenada.
Right.
We plan to move through the Caribbean, every island, have a referee cadre, run a competition. So we are actually slowly bringing the Caribbean into it because the larger Pan-American countries are already secure and stable.
Yeah.
But we move around to those places, to Mexico, Colombia, Belize, these places.
Nice. I could remember, was it this year or last year? We was planning what going on for Carnival, and you tell me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in Carnival. What? Because the same thing happening this year. I wouldn't be a part of the festivities leading up to Carnival because I come back Trinidad Carnival Monday.
Way.
And we have to go to a European Championships in Serbia. So I'll be in Serbia throughout the Carnival season. So you all celebrate for me. I'll be flying the flag, but I'll be back in time for the Monday and the Tuesday.
Out in the cold. Yeah, so I want to get a quick, I doubt it will be quick, but give us your background in before the MMA, right? Your background in martial arts. A quick synopsis. disciplines that you run through?
All right, I'll be very, very quick because it's vast. So the one that I want to harp on the most is the person who got me involved in martial arts at this level is a very, 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 somebody very close to me. Very, 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 very special to me. And I want to call him out here, although he don't like me to call his name. I'll call him out anyway. Andrew Francois, a.k.a. Paps.
A.k.a. Paps.
From our town, Lansmeter, took me in when I was very, very young and naive in martial arts and taught me the ways of martial arts.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for him, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, I could remember you coming up the road, jumping in the car, going down, coming back, mash up.
He straightened me out in
coming back ramful.
In the most difficult of my days, he was the one that was there, keeping my head on, putting me in the right place.
Yeah.
And after him, I achieved a 5th degree black belt with him.
Right.
Then I achieved my black belt in Taekwondo, Judo. I did some boxing, kickboxing.
Yeah, I remember the kickboxing.
Yeah. And now, most recently, my most recent martial art, and when I say recent, I'm talking about 10 years ago, I achieved a black belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
I'm one of the only 2 black belts of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in Trinidad. The other one is a guy named Rondell Benjamin. Prominent stick fighter guy.
Yeah, no Rondell.
He's the other black belt, and I am the only other Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt in Trinidad. So there was some history there also, right? But we've been pushing, we've been growing.
Nice.
We've been introducing the country to what we would call traditional jiu-jitsu.
You went to the root.
Yeah, we went to the source of the thing. We didn't wake up one day like most Trinidadians and say, as a sensei, let me open my school. We spent 15 years traveling back and forth and bringing them in, going, and achieve the skills, achieve the black belt, and then we opened up the school and push forward.
Right.
So that's the martial arts in a nutshell.
There's another... I feel I had to go Brazil, boy. There's another connection with Brazil on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keshav went Brazil and studied some drumming and thing there. Adam was in Brazil. Well, we interviewed Adam in Brazil. Rana was in Brazil. Leslie was in Brazil. Something going on
Brazil,
here.
Brazil is a cultural hub now.
Skip out how you're feeling. We could get a sponsor and go on location or
if you ever go into Brazil, I'll link you up with Professor Pedro Sauer, who is my instructor for martial arts.
Right, yeah. I know that. I know Pedro. So well, I know of the name. Yeah.
You get a real experience over there. So if you want to skip ahead and over, let me know. I'll set all you up.
Yeah. I will lime with Pedro.
Yeah. Really nice guy.
I'm sure.
Really nice.
I'm sure because
nice.
Because he could rearrange your skeleton.
Yeah. I've never met anybody who does not like him. He's one of the only people in this world I've met who the consensus is always the same. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So that level of mastery is something that I always look up to him because I have never met somebody who has 100% being like 100%.
Yeah.
And he's that guy. So
you know where's another because I think we have enough shows so far, thank goodness, that are starting to see similarities in things, right?
Yeah.
So, another thing I realizing that is very important, the importance of good teachers, boy.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Good teachers seem to definitely make a difference. I mean, people talent and all of that, talented rather, but you need somebody to see where that gift in you could go and to guide you. And like I used a metaphor in the previous interview to take you out of the small pot that you're in and put you in a bigger pot or plant you outside.
Put you in
the yard and
you spread your roots.
Yeah, you see, hey, there's what I could really do.
I'll tell you something that was very, very prominent to me because I was doing a lot of martial arts with locals and a lot of people from around. Because my Taekwondo instructor was the deceased Master Jong from Mokrapa Road right there on Bellsmith Street.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a famous dojo.
But he was locally based. Francois, of course, for karate. I did some boxing and stuff with Cox and these guys. Baba from down Simeon Road.
You're real
shout out to Baba.
You're real knockabout,
national boxers.
You're real knockabout.
Yeah, I did judo with Linus Brown, and these are local guys, and they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get exposed to mastery on a larger level,
Yeah.
you start to see something about yourself. You start to see your identity as a local. You start to see both your strengths and your limitations. And
very important, the limitations.
yeah, some people, they kind of harp on the strength too much because everybody likes to look at their strength and promote their strength because you're promoting your country when you're promoting your strength.
Right.
But if you take a look at your limitations, this is where you see you could learn so much from the person that you're engaging with right now.
Right.
And when I saw Professor Pedro Sawa, and the way he would interact with people, very, very different to how we do it in Trinidad. Very, very different. It's like chalk and cheese.
Right.
And I looked at him and I'm like, this is probably the reason why everybody likes this guy. It's the way he does things. And I saw a limitation in myself, which is a cultural limitation, because of how we interact with each other on a daily basis in Trinidad, is somewhat on the sharper edge. And it's just natural.
Because that's something else. Yeah.
But when you see it from a different angle, you learn from them. You learn stuff like that. So as a good friend of mine, Rondell Benjamin, once said, what we seek is not to be good. We seek mastery of things.
Right.
We need to be masters of it, not just good at it. And what we have in Trinidad is we have a lot of people who are good at stuff. But good is the limit.
Yeah,
and
good is the
choose
ceiling.
to go
Is the
past
ceiling.
good and head towards mastery.
Yeah. Nice. I like that. I'll take note of that. But talking about I want to talk about a different side of you, you know, that
you want to talk about a different side?
No. Nah, I ain't going there. Nah, we ain't talking about that, brother. You have as close a relationship with martial arts. You have a relationship with technology and IT.
Yes.
And you know, computers and stuff. I could remember, and I was telling Matix earlier, this man make an arcade when he was younger. And I don't mean like, you know, you could go home by him and pay him to play games. The man cut the wood, put the TVs in the thing, put the game system in, make the controllers, wire up everything, and made an arcade with how many games you could remember? How many
I had
stations?
like about four machines in the place.
Right.
In the little hole in the wall we had home, the little entertainment center we had down there.
And the place was busy.
Yeah. I've always had a love for technology from small.
Yeah.
And as time went along, it started to turn into more of just an interest, into more wanting to do it as a career. So in those days where you see me building arcades and stuff, I used to call that the dabbling phase. I was dabbling a lot with things, and you know, it kind of got my interest peaked a little bit more. So I actually went into it academically, and I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Greenwich,
right,
with honors, and I also have a master's degree in cybersecurity and digital forensics.
All right, now with the master thing. All right, now, all right,
with honors also.
All right, now masters. All right, now Mr. Masters. All right.
Of Portsmouth. So you know, that being said, I always encourage like the parents of children in my dojo and stuff like that, when their children love technology, I tell them don't come down on them so hard. For technology, the love for technology is a gateway to greater things.
Nice.
It's a gateway to greater things. So maybe they should, you know, stroke the fire a little bit and see. Yeah. And because it could turn into a career, it could turn into me.
Yeah.
So
prime example, right?
There you go.
So I use that to segue into because I like to keep up with the sports, right? Because we have while doing the show, I kind of segment, I don't want to say segment, but identifying different kinds of inter-outer nationals, right? People who based in Trinidad or from Trinidad, who are representing Trinidad in different fields, in different forms of endeavor, right? And we have the athletes, and we spoke to the president of TTOC some weeks ago, and the bobsled team, hey fellas, what you seen? And so I try to keep abreast of the sporting activities of our athletes and coaches and, administrative staff and all of that. So I finding a problem, Warren, that I think you is the man to help me, right? I trying to compile the data with because we have in the past 2 weeks for December, we've had a couple meets, and Trinidad has performed excellently. But it's hard to get a snapshot of all of that, right? So within the past 2 weeks, in different games and meets and all of that, Trinidad has amassed that, well, not even a total, because some are missing, of 177 medals, right?
In total.
Across
all sporting disciplines.
That's what I'm saying. Some missing.
Right.
So 87 gold, 63 silver, 27 bronze. That the intelligence has picked up. We also have sporting disciplines that don't medal. Right. Which is why it probably didn't come up here. We have someone who broke the free diving record twice.
Right.
I think that was last week. Shucks, I didn't
and
even.
you probably don't have our MMA guys that actually
and
went
we do,
out there.
And we do have the MMA,
because we got a silver and 2 bronze.
You see what I'm talking about?
In the Pan American IMAF. Yes.
So with your expertise, my brother, I thinking of putting something together that whether automatically or manually we could collate this information and have a central repository for people who interested, for media, for anybody who is interested in that information, to just tap in and have it at hand.
I think it's an excellent idea. As somebody like myself who's deep into sport, I would 100% use that app, because I'd like to know where we stand on a sporting level at any point in time.
Exactly.
Especially if it aggregating from everywhere, and I can click the gold medal, let's say icon, and I can see it broken down.
All the winners, right? Yeah, exactly.
Of course, I think it's a perfect idea.
Nice, and I think it's a perfect point for us to wrap this with the intention to create that. We're going to talk about it after we wrap here, but we need to, because we have coming up the midweek zest with Nelly Kato and DJ and DJ Shots, and we already
the stingers.
Yeah, we already had the stingers to deal with the case, right? So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Thank you for
I hope I can be back with even better news.
Listen, so there's your interview, right? So you have your outer view to do when you're outside and you're doing the things, right? We might see a ringside, we might see in our award ceremony. Yes, who knows, right?
Guaranteed.
Right. So with that, thank you again. Thank you for joining us. Oh, quick shout out to all the people in the chat. We have who is this? Shanika Gilbert, Chrissy Amar, me, Lovely Hummingbird, Lovely Hummingbird. That's one of your
I don't know.
That's one of your students.
Have a lovely night, Miss Gilbert.
Casey Joseph, people who joined us before, who just listening, people who would be listening and taking this in the future. Thank you for your attention. I think that is a wrap. We good to go. Lance Meter, your boys holding on, man. We ain't doing too bad.
As you could see.
Yeah.
We doing the thing for you all.
Yeah,
Support.
man. Yeah. So thank you for joining us on International. We ready to go. We have a battle to finish. Skipper.
Blessings.